Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Now, this is an unplanned stream because something happened this week that you couldn't predict. Something happened that I should have known better about, and it is related to what you're seeing here. Let me just get the table up a little bit more so you can see it. It is a set of CaddX FPV Goggles X. Now, for those who watched Sunday's live stream, you may know that I gave a set away. In fact, it is this very set here that I gave away. They were a brand new set of Goggles X, sealed from the factory. I shipped them. The lucky winner happened to be in the UK, so it didn't take long for them to get there. They got to him, and he sent me a message to say, hey, brilliant, my goggles have arrived. And then he sent me a message to say, this is rather embarrassing, but they're faulty. The left-hand screen doesn't work. So yes, CaddX sent me a brand new set of goggles to give away on the channel that were faulty. So what we're going to do today is take a look at what is going on. Now, I have sorted out the lovely gentleman. I happen to have another pair that were basically new that I've sent him. I did all the tests on them first. When I say basically new, they were open, basically checked on the bench. That was it. So he agreed to have them rather than us mess around and wait for CaddX. He has shipped them back to me. I haven't even opened them yet. There are some stickers on here to mask the address and things like this. So what we're going to do in this live stream is a repair stream. We're going to get the box open. We're going to take a look at what the actual issue is, and then we'll see if we can repair them. Now, I'm going to need a blade to get into these. Now, this is going to be a video that stays up on the channel, so it's going to be a bit of a repair video, as well as a normal one. So the first thing we're going to do is unbox it. Should we go to the overhead for the unbox? Ooh, we're well too close. We're well too close for that. So let's cut our way in to the box and the packaging and see what I get back. For all I know, Andy, he would have sent me something. I'll probably find a carrot inside or something, and it'll turn out to have all been a scam. But no, look, he was a great guy, and I just felt so bad that it happened to him. So we can see they're foamed up. I have the bluntest Stanley blade in the world here. That's how blunt that blade. Wow, where's my actual blades? Let me just, there we go. Let's do it that way. Packaged them up really nicely for me. There we go. Bit more tape. So we can see the box there. It's got a little roughed up there where you had to open it. I did package it up rather well. So for those who've just come in, hello, hello, hello. So the basics are, I gave away a brand new unsealed set of Goggles X on the stream last Sunday, and it turns out for the poor new user, they were faulty. Now, apparently, it is a problem with the left-hand display doesn't work at all. So let's get them open. There we go. We can see they're inside. Got the cable that's been used, which obviously is going to happen. We've got the goggles there. I haven't even seen these yet myself because I never opened them. Cool. Look, that's how little he's used them. Look, they've still got the stuff on the displays. So what we're going to do is power them up. And let's see if or what the actual issue is. Let's come in. Now, I don't know how easy this is going to be to show on camera. I think what I'm going to do is let's come up nice and close So you guys can then see. There we go. So, what I'm going to do first of all is wait for them to kick in. You know what these goggles are like? They take a little bit of time. Ah, yes. So it is the right-hand screen. Sorry, I thought it was the left. It's the right. So, the proximity sensor, he turned the proximity sensor off to test it. He told me that. So if we go to the overhead, you can see we have display. We have no display. We have display. So if I go into the menu, you can then see the menu. We have no display. So one side is definitely working. One side is not. So let me just adjust the focus on that one. Yeah, that one is definitely working. Yeah, that is. So, right. Shall we try the main way, first of all, that you fix anything? And let's see if it works. No. 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 Okay, time for the teardown. Will it bend? Will it blend? They say. So yeah, no good deed goes unpunished. And yeah, can't believe it. Just, what can you do? It's one of those crazy situations that I didn't want to open them because I wanted to send something sealed, brand new, never touched. And that's what I wanted to seal. And it's just, look, it's a great advertisement for CaddX and their product, I guess. Not. But what can I do, guys? I don't make this stuff up. The owner will genuinely tell you this is what happened. So he has a set that is basically new. They're working. They're fine. They are new. They've not been used. They've just been on the bench. If you want to know how I felt, those on my Discord will know what I was thinking. Those on my Discord will know exactly what my thoughts were when I was told. If it came to America, it would be working. Here's something genuine. It was epic, someone said. I am actually really glad that they came to the UK because I was able to turn it round quickly. I want to say a huge thank you to the winner, Andy. I'm not going to say his name other than that, but he was a great guy. He understood. And yeah, I'm just so sorry, mate, it happened. I really do apologise, but he's up and running. He's okay. So he's good to go in that respect. So let's tear him down. Let's go to the overhead. Oh, God. We're going to need to sort that out. Whee! I should just turn autofocus on, but who likes autofocus? Shall I turn on, and I don't usually do this, but let's turn on NVIDIA Broadcast. You can have me in the corner as well while we're doing it. Now, I've moved over. I forget. I moved myself too far and it doesn't work. There we go. Okay, so today for this video isn't sponsored by, but I am going to show you what I'm going to use. Today I'm going to use my lovely iFixit toolkit. Now, my wife bought me this for Christmas, and I'll be honest, I really like this toolkit. I'll be honest, it's really good. If you haven't got, there's a lot to be said about the iFixit gear, and I'm a bit of a fan having had this. I'll be honest, I've had this since Christmas. It's amazing I still have everything here. It is incredible that everything is still in place. The only ones that are off are on the bits itself. So, now I've got to remember how to tear these down, because I have done this before, but I can't remember. What I do remember is, I think you've got to remove this. If I remember, you do. Oh, that's on nice and tight. worst case, I could have applied a bit of heat to it. Hello, GMI. I'll be honest. Come on, Italian. Yeah, I was not a happy man. Just crazy. You know, what's the chances? And look, we should be fair here. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to stick this to the box so it doesn't go missing. And look, and we should be fair here. That, look, failure happens. Doesn't matter the brand, doesn't matter anything, failure happens. It is just, there is some poetic irony in the fact that these goggles were sent to me because I reached out to CaddX about a faulty set of goggles that they told me the parts weren't available for, but actually was. So as a result of their miscommunication around a faulty set of goggles, they agreed to send me a set of these for free, which I agreed to give away on the channel, which then turned out to be faulty. There is definitely poetic irony in all of this. It's, I think what it does show is they don't always test things before it goes out. Now, what I am going to do is grab one of my Mads Tech boxes. If you haven't seen these, I made these ages ago. I think I put the STL online. I printed these up. I designed and made these myself for working on the bench. They all slot together. They got slots on the top and bottom so you can stack them. But they're like a screw collector box. And they allow you to put bits and parts in. I made these ages ago. They're just great. You 3D print them off, and they're really handy. At least I know I didn't get preferential treatment. Yeah, I got treated like every other pleb out there, which is typical. You know, it is. Now we'll start at the top. I want to try and do this as cleanly as I can. Alright, let's get in there with a guitar pick. Okay, so we're going to pop the lid. Ta-da! Okay, so these ones shipped with the shorter heatsink than the longer one. Interesting. Now, the annoyance on this is it's going to be quite a teardown. We're going to have to go all the way through on these to tear these down. Because to do it, you've actually got to get down inside. So, yeah, we've got to go quite a long way on these ones to do it. And what's also annoying is I would like to get that off, but they've now put that under there, which is really in the way. I don't need to remove this heatsink, but we're going to have to just see how it goes a minute. Evening, you lot. Evening, James. How are you? So, let's continue with the teardown. That's the version 3 heatsink. Yeah, there's version 2 and version 3. I don't know. Look, they're exactly the same. They don't offer any performance difference. I think CaddX actually jump between the two. There's no major difference between the heatsinks. There really isn't that I've seen. What's also annoying is the whole damn thing. Yeah, it's just an unbelievable situation. You couldn't make this up if you tried. You just couldn't make it up if you tried. You know, they sent me a set of goggles as a replacement because of something else with another set of goggles, which then turned out to be faulty. It's just really, can we not do this? Can we not have these kinds of problems? I'm trying to remember. I'm going to have to... This is going to be a complete teardown today. Okay, look, we're going to have to do it. Let's just strip it down. Let's go all of the way. Torpedo, oh my god, that's unbelievable. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, look, I'm not going to criticize CaddX in the sense of, look, failure happens. It's sod's law. What it is sod's law for me, I'll be honest with you, because I do get... these things just happen to me all of the time. These kind of things. Okay. So we want to unplug the UFLs. 1, 2. Now, what are we going to bet is actually wrong? Are we going to bet they have forgot to plug a display cable in? Are we going to bet it's something like that? What do we think, folks? I'm interested in knowing your thoughts. Bruce would say reviewer's curse. Yeah. Okay. Good, 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 good. Now there is a... Oh, there's a screw at the front there. The good thing we're doing this on film as well is I can reverse it and see how it goes back together. Okay, so we're going to pop the top board off. Now there is a cable underneath this, which we're going to need to get to. I think they're on the top. Are they on the top or are they on the bottom? No, they're on the bottom. I have torn these goggles down before, but it was a while ago. So I need to vaguely remember how it actually all was. There we are. So, okay, so what we've got is a connector under there. That's that one. And then this one over here is more like a MIPI connector. Basically the same connector as they use on the cameras. There we go. So that's the top board out the way. That frees us up into there. Any news about the app? They did post on Discord. I've not seen it. So you may have seen today that CaddX have announced these new goggles that are coming later in the week. I'm not involved. I wasn't sent a set. I think they've got the hump with me, or the look. I refused to sign an agreement with CaddX because I thought my perception of that agreement was that it was restrictive and it would be unhealthy for my channel because it was well overbearing for an NDA, and as such, I refused to sign it. As such, CaddX have basically left me out of all of their launches, which they're entitled to do, which is fine. What it means is I haven't really decided if I'm going to bother covering them now. I think they've said they're going to send me some stuff, but I'll be honest, you know, covering it, what you're going to get on Wednesday or the 15th, I think it is you're going to get the reviews, but you won't get one from me. So just so you know, if they send me a set, I will review them later and I will give you my thoughts and opinions. But if you take into account, you know, the gimbals still haven't gone out. No one I know outside of the test group have got the gimbals. Oh, that's tight. This one is tight. Come on. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, no one outside of the test groups has got the gimbals as far as I'm aware. Okay, so there's that. Now it's time to pop the front cover back. But yeah, like I signed many NDAs in my time. I'm more than happy to sign NDAs. I'm more than happy to sign NDAs because I know how the world works. But the NDA has to be realistic, and I felt this NDA basically would mean, if I signed it, it would basically mean anything I did, basically anything I do could be potentially deemed as a breach of that NDA. Was my interpretation of the rules of it. Now that might not have been the intent, but that would have been the effect. And I like to make content and put stuff up on repair.wiki and share with you guys the stuff that you can't get anywhere else. And it would have potentially prevented me from doing that. So, as such, I refused to sign it. It was way too wide-ranging. Way too wide-ranging. Okay. So, we are this far. So, our next task is really, let's just have a look. Can we see anything at this point going on? We cannot. Do you know what? It's not really easy to see in these goggles. It really isn't. I think what we'll do is we will take off these two now, because these hold the shells together. Marge FPV, how are you? How is everyone? Right, just to give a recap very quickly, because there are people joining us on the stream, 160 of you now. Hello. So, I gave away a set of CaddX Goggles X, this set of CaddX Goggles X on Sunday night's live stream. The user received them on Wednesday, and messaged me to say, sadly, they were faulty and they didn't work properly. One of the screens doesn't work. So, basically, CaddX sent me a faulty set of Goggles X. I didn't open them. They were factory sealed. I chose not to open them because I didn't really want to send something that had been open. I was trying to be open and honest about it. I won't ever do that again in future. I will be checking that anything I ship works. So that's the basics of what happened. Yes, I must be kidding. A very bad joke. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Do CaddX have a new set of goggles coming out next week? They look to be box goggles. I think they're in the class of the Fat Shark Recon HD or whatever it is. And they're in that sort of classification. I don't have them. I won't be reviewing them at this moment in time. That's all I can really say. I have been told some things about them. We're just going to have to wait and see. Okay, so we're at this stage here. So we now need to start looking at splitting the shells. Now, there are a couple of screws along the front here. I can't remember, do these need to come out? So let's just do it anyway. One. Two. 3. Sorry, I'm counting the screws. 4. So, yeah, there's apparently a new set of goggles coming. Look, I don't really know if CaddX are just improving what they're doing or they don't like the way I talk. I've never really done NDAs with CaddX before. Look, I'm not a person that leaks stuff. I've never leaked stuff unless I'm allowed to. You know, I'm not sure why CaddX felt the need to have to do an NDA. Bit of glue on that screw. Interesting. You know, I've never leaked anything that I wasn't allowed to. I do know how it works. I wouldn't have mind signing the NDA if it wasn't quite so restrictive, if I'm honest. But what can you do? So it'll be interesting to see. I think what I am starting to see comments of is people asking, where's the gimbals? People have ordered their gimbals. They haven't received their gimbals. Oh, I've missed 2 screws. One there. And one there. There we go. Okay, should we try that again? Right. Oh, be careful. They got clips, so you've got to be a bit careful because they will pop a bit faster than you would like. There we are. Top plate. The question will be is what's wrong? Have they forgot to plug something in? We should be able to somewhat get to that shortly. So we're going to need to remove that off that ribbon cable because that's taking up some space. So I'm going to pop that over there. So that one is okay. So that one will pop through. The antennas will pop through into the sides. Yes, yes, yes. You will go through into there. Oh, button board. Unplug him. Okay, that's done. So now just got the coax. Coaxes to get out. That's the one. There we go. So that's the top. You've got the board there, the board there, and the top of the goggles. Now we're getting to a stage where we should be close enough to start seeing what is going on. Okay, so if we come in a bit, start getting in and having a look. So we have the back of the displays here So here's the display connectors. You can see it there, and you can see it there. Now that does appear to be on and in place. Interesting. But there is also a joint on these inside here as well. So we're going to have to get them out to have a look. So we've got to keep going. We're going to have to keep moving. So screw for the fan there. And then 2 on the sides. It does power up. It powers up. It's just that this display doesn't work. Right-hand display doesn't work. We're going to unplug the power for the fan. There we go. That is our fan removed. We then have this connector over this side, which goes between the two. Someone said, I can't believe they sent defective. What we don't know is, did something change in transit? I would find, one thing I will say is, I would find it hard to believe they really left the factory faulty. You would assume they were tested. Okay, so we're at this stage here. The next thing we're going to need to do is, looks like the screws here on the corners. So we're going to get them off. I'm going to go into the same tub with these because they're all the same screws. So that one, that one, that one, that one. Now this could be something silly, like some form of connector issue. It really could. Now, let's just carefully have a look what's going to happen next. So, that cable's going over the top into these boards at the side. So what I don't know yet is, what is the best way forward here? What is the best way to... Interesting, there's a lot more glue in this than there was in my original ones. When I took my original ones apart, there wasn't that much glue in them. They've clearly added a lot more at the factory. So, do these boards... Oh, wait, there's a screw down in there. Let's undo that. Okay, so there's the screw, and there seems to be like a plastic piece that holds it all in place. Yes, there is. There's a plastic piece on top of the HDMI port. On the... Oh, and another one down there. So wait there. There's a piece of plastic, look. Screw and a piece of plastic. And then there's another one at the front here, by where the boards join. So that's right down there. Now it is possible it's a faulty display. If that's the case, I've just opened them up for nothing. Okay, so there's that little piece of plastic clip that goes there, so we're going to pop him off. So, do these boards now release? They do. So that's board number 1. So, there's a cable down there that goes to the front fan, most likely. So we're going to release him carefully. And then there's a cable that goes between the boards. There we go. So there's that. Brilliant. And then I'm hoping on this one, on the HDMI board, yes, there's an edge connector. I'm going to leave that attached because it's glued. So I think we'll just leave that attached to the goggles. And now, all being well, we should be in a position... Oh, God, wait a minute. Something I've not thought of. Wait a minute. Right. Now, I'm betting the centre of these come off. Now, I don't want to do this with any damage. Right. 2 seconds. We're going to get some heat on this. We just want to put a bit of... Let's get the hot air gun. Let me get my hot air station. We're going to power it up. And we're just going to put a bit of heat. So we're going to... take the heat right down to 100 degrees. It's better. But hopefully just to release some of the glue that's possibly on this. They glue the connectors. Yes, they have been by the look of it. What you're trying to do at this point is soften the glue. This is what you're trying to do. I'm not hot enough to melt anything. But what you need to do is just soften the glue. Okay. Yeah. So I'm hoping now... Now I'm annoyed because I'm going to end up damaging this. You're going to end up putting a mark in this. I'm a bit annoyed about that fact. Do they actually need to come off or can they stay? I'm just trying to see, do they actually need to? Let me just look in there. Actually, no, I don't think they do. No, they don't. Okay, they can stay. Okay. Okay, so we're still attached. Something is holding somewhere. There's a clip. Is there a clip there? The fan's at the front. That's where the little fan is. All the screws are out. So the bit I'm trying to understand is it just pull harder? It's pull harder. There we go. So we're releasing. Ta-da! Right. What we need to then do is the fan connectors down there. So you can see on the backboard there, we've got the fan connector. So we need to pop him out. And that's the bottom fan. Tiny, tiny fan. There we go. So that is... yes, so that they stay in. So that's fine. Okay, so you can release like that. That's fine. So you can see the tiny, tiny little fan down the bottom there. Look at them. Tiny thing. Okay, so we're at the back of the goggles. We're at the back of the optics. So when we look at them, the goggles that is faulty is this one here. Okay, so that one, this one. So if we're just going to come in, so how do we look on the connector? Does the connector look seated? Does it look on properly? It's glued, so we're going to have to apply some heat to that to get that off. That looks fitted, I'll be honest. But something to understand is there's a second connector inside. So what we are going to do is we are going to heat these two again and we're going to release these two connectors because we need to pop them off. So we're going to do that again, same way. So we're going to get the heat gun. We're probably going to use a bit more than 100 degrees. We'll go to 150. So I'm going to just bring it here a minute. And then I'll come back on camera. Just so you guys can see. So there you go. You can see me there with a heat gun. I'm using an Atom soldering station. So this isn't hot enough to cause any damage. But what I'm just trying to do is soften the glue. So the glue will then release. Now there's plenty of glue on the top of it as well for me to sort of get an idea of when it's time. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, let's put that one down. So if we come overhead, so we're going to very carefully now pop him. There we go. Sorted. That one is released. Now this is not the faulty one. That is the one that was working. I now need to do the same thing on the other one. Let's go to the wide view so you guys can see. Just looking at the chat a second. Send them back. No one should be repairing a £450 goggle. Yeah, well, for me, it's content. I want to know what's wrong. Yep, that's nice. Cool. So we're going to come back under, and again, what we're going to do is carefully on this one. Ooh, a bit more glue on this one. Now, I don't think that was on. I don't think that was on properly. Now I've done that, I think it was off-sided. And if that's the case, right, because that connector was glued, that means they weren't tested at the factory. So that can only mean they weren't tested at the factory if that's the case. So I think what we're going to have to do is a reseat test. Because that connector's glued. It was solid where it was. So we're just removing the glue because it's a bit soft. We're now able to get in there. So the question is at this point, do I try reseating the connector and see if it works? I can do it on the bench. We can do it here. Let's do that. Let's do that. Ian, please use plastic tweezers. You can't use plastic on some of this stuff. What I'm using here is metal because I need to be able to get to some of the bits. Now, okay, we need to remove the glue on this one, okay? So I'm just going to put a bit more heat on this a minute. So I can get the glue off. And then we'll reseat and we'll try. Not quite there yet. I prefer to do this bit under a microscope. There we go. That's the glue gone. Okay, it's fine. There's a little bit of foam there, but I'm not worried about that. Now, I think... Oh, there's still a bit there. Right, where are we under the microscope here? 2 seconds. Does the microscope work? Why is that not working? That's interesting. It's not working because it's not plugged in. There you go. 2 seconds. Let me just find that. we want to... there we go. Sorry, I was missing my cable for my microscope. Let's have a look at this under. How are we now? Hey. Okay. 2 seconds, guys. Let's just have a look at the connections. I'm going to need to get some height on this because the board is very tall. Okay. So let's just have a look at the connections on both sides. So we're going to look at this one first of all. I've still got some glue on that one. So there's no damage on the connector. What is interesting, right, I don't know if you might not hear me very well a minute because I'm under the microscope, so the audio might go off a little bit. Let me just look. Is there a bit of grease on the connection? What the bloody hell is that? That's a bit weird. We've still got some glue here, so we need to get this off. I'm going to go front nozzle for this now. Go. And let's just have a look at the other side. That one's clear, that one's fine. What is on that connector? It's silicone. I think it's silicone. I think there is still silicone on that connector. Let me get a Q-tip and give that a rub. I think it got underneath. When they did that, they didn't seat it properly. And it got silicone under it. Yeah, it does look a little bit... that related. I should not have used the Q-tip. The Q-tip has hid everywhere. Yeah, it's definitely silicone, look. Okay. Right, let's just get the IPA on it. 2 seconds. Q-tip was a bad idea. Yeah, I'll get it with the IPA. I wanted to see if it moved and then it hid up. It'll be fine. We'll clean it. Okay, so the IPA will lift the. There we go. Just drying it. Here we go. So, if we just check on this, how's this looking? How is this connected? You can see with the silicone, that silicone has gone everywhere. When they've done this, right, that silicone, let me just bring that out so you guys can see. I think this connector wasn't on properly and the silicone has gone all over. That's what I think has happened. So I'm just going to clean this a minute. It's not easy for you guys to see, but let me just... Okay. Okay. Good. Spilling IPA everywhere. Someone just said the legs on that connector don't look right. Let's just have a look again under the microscope, shall we? Someone's just said the legs don't look right. Let's get in there and have a good look. It's not, that connector 100% has silicon. If you look at that one compared to this one, right? That is how it should look. So let me just see if I can focus that a bit better for you. Get a bit more height and then I can focus it. That one looks clean and dry. This one still has a look of silicone around it. Especially the. Yeah, so what I think has happened is, what I think they've done is, when they've fitted the connector on, it wasn't on properly and the silicone has run underneath. That's what I think's happened, and it's gone into the connector. So now I'm going to try and clean it up with a toothbrush and some IPA. Now it means that foam is going to come off because the IPA is going to lift that. That's going to happen. That's fine. I'm not worried about the foam. You can now see the IPA is lifting the IPA is lifting the glue around the foam. That's a goner, so let's get rid of that. Not necessary. It's only the idea of the foam is going to be to hold the connection straight. I'm not worried about that because once we glue it back in, it's never going to move. What we want to just make sure is that we've got all of the silicone off that was round there. Make sure then we get it nice and clean. Right. Still not 100% happy with that. Right, if you see, there is still some bits in the connector which I want to get out. What I'm going to do now is rake the connector out. Make sure that we get it as clean as we can. That is now looking better. So if we come out, that there is looking pretty good. Now what I would like to do is dry clean that connector, but there's going to be no easy way of doing it. There's going to be no... I can't use a Q-tip because it's just going to put fluff everywhere. Yeah, I think I would like to dry clean it. Just looking at the chat a minute. Okay, so do you know what? That silicone is still there. You can see it on the board. There's a shininess. Can you see that shininess? Shouldn't have that. That shouldn't be there. The board should be like this side. Can you see how dry this is? So that silicone is still sort of coating everything on the board. If I just grab a Q-tip again a minute, and I know, you know, look, you can see it. Look, there's it's there is definitely a coating of it on the board. The silicone is there from where they mounted the connector. But that was more like glue. I don't know why it's more silicone-like. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. Okay. One last go. Let's go for one more. Let's do another clean. Good scrub. Okay. I think this is as good as we're going to get. Bit of hot air to... Okay, I'm happier with that now. There's still some IPA in the connector. That just needs to dry off. Still some IPA in there, but we'll get that out now. But that's all a lot better than it was. It's definitely a lot better than it was. Okay, so let's get this all dry. Okay, so let's just have a look at this connection, make sure, how happy am I with this? I'm okay with that. I think I might just give that one more going over. I think there's an opportunity there just to clean that a bit more. I will do a quick recap in a second when we come back to the bench, guys. I will do a quick recap then. Let me just do this, and then we'll have a recap of where we're at. I'm just going to give this a good scrubbing. Sorry you can't see a lot, guys. I know it's not easy, but that's what I'm doing right now. Trying to make sure the connector is as clean as possible. There we go. Gentle heat just to dry off the IPA. There we are. just going to look at that. That's better. That's better. That's the ticket. That's the boy. Perfect. Okay. Pull my IPA away. So, to recap. I was sent a set of Goggles X by CaddX as a gift to give away on the channel, and I sent them to the user, and it turns out they were faulty. One of the displays wasn't working. Connector is clean, but the teeth are filthy now. Everything looks good. Everything looks fine. So what we're going to do is pop both sides on, and then we'll try and do a half-arsed power up. Now, what is interesting is the display was dead. So I should be able to fairly quickly determine if it's working. I hate these flat connections. There's that one there done. I absolutely hate these type of flat display connectors. It's the same one they had on the other goggles. It's just horrible. There we go. Okay, so both are back on. So now we've got to try and... We can see there are marks with the pin teeth engaged. Yeah, there are some, but not... I'm not convinced it was all the way in. So now we've got to try and find a way of powering these up half-arsedly. So if I pop them on the desk like this, right? And the reason I put it there like that is so I can sort of build a set of goggles on the bench. So we want that, we want that. So we know this connector goes into there. We know the front fan, whatever that is, goes into there. We are gonna want... I'm not worried about the side fan. That's not important. What I am gonna want is... Do I need the top RF board? I could put it in HDMI mode. I wonder. Let's try. I'm not convinced I actually need the main RF board, because as long as I can see the displays, I can check if they're powering on, so we can pop it into analog mode. If I had any sense, I'd have left it in analog mode before the teardown. But I don't have any sense. So, let's get this one in. So let's see if we can. There. Just looking around. That's not... Yeah, no, all that's fine. I don't think we'll need any of that. The proximity sensor is disabled anyway. So really, we can just go for a bit of a power-up. Is what we can do. And see what happens. And release the magic smoke! We'll try not to release the magic smoke. Okay. So, we can pop that there, pop that there. So. They're silent. Why are they silent? There's no fans connected. So what I want to see is, can I switch modes? I don't even know if they'll power like this, I'll be honest with you. They might not. It's not looking like it. Okay. I'm not worried about the power amplifier having the antenna connected. That's not a worry for me. There's a reason why I'm not worried about that. I remember this was a horrible connector to do. This is a horrible one, I'll be honest. Hey. Okay, let me get a slave to put an antenna connector on. I'm not worried about it, but I am going to do it. I like pina coladas in the rain. Where's my bloody antenna box gone? Why isn't my antenna box here? Where are they all gone? Oh, they're up there. Here we go. That's the transmission port. Just that one there. Okay. Now shall we see if they're going to power on? Okay. The weird thing is I powered them on and I was expecting to hear a sound, but because there's no fans, you won't. So, 1, 2, 3. So now I've got to wait and see. I'm waiting for them to power. I saw the avatar logo on that display for 10 seconds, but I'm not convinced it's on, you know. I don't think it is. 2 seconds, we're waiting. What I'm going to do is shift it into analog then. Nope. Nope. Still a no. Still no. So it wasn't that. So let's just drop it into... that's HDMI. So now I'm in analog and that display's working. That display is not. Okay, so let's keep going. That definitely looked sus. That definitely looked sus. Goggles for the one-eyed pirate. They are. Pete the Pirate's goggles. So we're going to leave all of that together. So we're going to move all of that off. Actually, we're not going to leave that attached to that. Let's leave that. Come on. Okay, so we're going to move all of that over there. Swap the space. Yeah, well, there's another connector, you see. So something you may not know is there's a second connector from the display to the goggle. So there's a second connector on the back. So now we're going to have to dive in a little bit further. So to do this, which side are we going to disconnect? Which one should we go for? Let's do it from this side here. So we've got some glue on there. So we need to heat this and release this next. Okay, so that's the next job because that needs to come off. So I'm just going to do that here. You guys don't really need to see that on camera, but we're just going to heat that glue. IPA releases hot glue well. Yeah, it can do. I quite like just to use a bit of heat is what I've always used. Here we go. Lovely, jubbly. Here we are. So that board's free. So now we can carefully release this from around the top. There's glue on it. That's fine. There we are. Good. So now this will start to release. This is actually glued a little bit in that corner there. There's a tab of glue that is holding that in place from the look of it, if I'm right. Ah, no, it's that. There you go. There we are. Okay. So, that board released. Now, there could be a fault on this board, and I think we'll have another look under the microscope in a minute to see if we can see anything. First of all, though, we're at the back of the display. So, this is the display ribbon cable. So, there is a second joint on this under here. Okay? Which is going to take some getting to. Let's just, before we do anything, let's just get back under the microscope a minute and let's just have a look at that connector in a bit more detail, just to make sure now that there isn't anything untoward that we might have missed. I don't know how much you guys can see of this, so I'm looking through the lens, so I'm going to try and bring it so you guys can see. So there you go. That's one side of the connector there. Let me look through the lenses and look at this a minute. Everything appears soldered. Yeah, I'm looking at it. Everything looks okay. Okay. Oh, my Discord just pinged off. Let me just open that up and have a look. Aha. Some new people have arrived on my Discord. Let me just let them in before I go any further. Yep, that's fine. Let me just sort this. 2 seconds. Elemental, someone else. Let's go for mod view. Oh yeah, you need that as well. Sorry, I've made some changes on my Discord today. Well, tonight I should say. that have just changed things slightly on how it works, and as such it means I have to do things manually a minute. One more. Kyle, you sneaked in at the end. There you go. They should all be in now. There. Right. Okay, so what we need to do next is we're going to have to carry on. We need to go further. So the display that isn't working is this one as we hold it this way. So I'm going to rotate it that way so it's this one here. Okay. So the next thing we're going to need to do is go in a bit deeper. Now, I've never gone this far before, so we are entering the rabbit hole. We're going to have to tear down... that's the display module in there, look. We're going to have to remove this. So let me get a smaller Phillips screw. Before going deeper, plug the left display into the right. Yeah, that's actually a good point, 1FG. Instead of going there, so just plug one display in. Yeah, let's do that. That's not a bad idea. So what he's saying is so whereas earlier we were set up like this, we had the left, this display into this side, that display into that side. Can I actually do it? Because the cable might be pinned differently. Wait a minute. No, I can't do it because the way the cable's pinned. It's not pinned to do it. We can't do it. So no, we're going to have to keep going. It's going to be pinned the other way around. I can swap the displays, but I can't swap it at this point. So the next thing we need to do is undo a screw in here from the look of it. Now, I have never done this before. We are into uncharted waters, folks. Tiny nut luck has come off. Oh, it's behind me. You can't see it. There's a tiny, tiny nut there. Look at that. So I'm going to go into here with this. Pull the rod out. So the rod comes out. And that then should release the optics module assembly as a whole. Yes, it does. It will now lift out. I can't though because of the top piece. So have I now got to remove this optics module from this top piece? Is that what I've got to do next? By the look of it, yes. So there's a screw here in the center. Now I'm just trying to figure out how far we go with this. Oh, that comes off. Oh, right. Okay, I get it now. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. We really do have to completely disassemble these. So that goes together like that. And then that's on the top there. Ah, right. Okay, I got an understanding. So, a screw on this side here. holds the rod in, which is down in there. So let's just push, get in there and give that a push. And then what's going to happen is that rod is going to start pushing out of that side there. And now we need to withdraw this. I need something to grab that with. There we go. So again, the issue we have is this module. So now we should be sort of free. Not completely free. So that's attached to that. So how does this rock off now? Is that one the front or the back one? That's the front one. So let me just zoom out a bit, guys. Shame you don't have a second set. I actually do, but I don't intend to tear them down this far to do it. We're getting closer. We are absolutely getting... Aha! 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 That just needs to unclip from there. Like that. Getting sticky. Ta-da! We have an optical module. Now this is where I have to be really careful. Just use a hammer, someone said. Okay, now I need some stuff. 2 seconds. Before we go any further, I want... I'm going to open the lens cloth that came with them a minute. What sort of bag of CaddX used? Module out. Display. Say hello to the displays in the OLED. Yeah, it's that. So what we're going to do is pop that down there. We're then going to pop that to the side. Now we need to undo the 4 screws on this. So now we can get in a bit closer. So 1. So that is a bracket. Top bracket removed. Bottom bracket removed, whichever way around we want to call it. Use the heatsink on the back of the displays. And there is the second connector. Now, I'll be honest, I don't see this being faulty. There's the disconnect. Do you know what my bets are? No thermal paste. No. Do you know what my bets are? I think this cable's bad. If I was a betting man, that. Right, heatsink is off. Right, shall we have a look at this under the microscope? Let's get this under the scope. What's the audio like when I'm under the scope, guys? Okay, far away. Let me do something on the audio a minute. 2 seconds. I can't do it while streaming. That's annoying. Okay, sorry guys, I can't change it while streaming. Unfortunately. Okay, let's go to the micro. So I'm just going to have a look around this connector a minute. What I'm also going to do is get a pair of tweezers. I'm going to talk a bit louder, so hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, I apologise. So what we're going to do... Oh no, I'm not using them, they're dirty. Where's the other pair gone? If I'm betting, it'll be this ribbon cable. If I'm a betting man. Okay, so... I'm going to work my way down the pins. I'm not pushing too hard. Okay, that looks fine. Let's start the top on the other side. Okay, I'll be honest, that looks fine. Right, let's look at the other side of this ribbon. Right, let's look at the connector side. I'm going to go from the top down. Nothing there looks off a minute. That all looks okay. Let's go the other side just to look what the other side looks like. It's not as clean as I would like, but that looks okay. Right, let's just have a look around that board before we do anything else. So, let's just have a look around this board. And let's have a look at this connector to see if there's anything going on. Let me Nothing there looks bad. And then we're going to work our way around. No, that all looks fine. Okay, so the connector looks fine. Right, let's start looking around the board. What the hell's that in view? Sorry, it's the other cable. Okay, so everything there looks okay. That doesn't look like that should be a populated spot to me. That looks... That doesn't look like that should be populated. That doesn't look like that should be populated. We can check that against some online images that I do have as well, if we need to. There are various areas down here that are not populated, but we're going to make the assumption of that is correct. We're just going to, well, I don't know. Do you know what? That looks a bit sus to me. But okay. Regulator there looks all soldered on. There's nothing jumping out at me. However, let's just look at something a minute, because okay, so let's go to repair.wiki, because I have images of this. FPV wiki, not repair.wiki, sorry. Thanks to Mr. Bundy. He sent me pictures. FPV wiki. We're going to go for CaddX Goggles X. And we're just going to have a... I just want to have a quick look at that front board. So it's this one here. So we're talking this side over here. Let's open this up in a new tab. Let's just save the image to downloads a minute and then open it up. I've actually got it on my computer already. I don't know why I'm saving it, but let's... So, what we want to have a look at is... Okay, so that looks correct based on what I'm looking at here. And I need to look at this the right way round. Okay. So, we got R33. Let me just find where we're at. R33, and then the two pads next to it are not populated. That's correct. Okay, so that's good. There was then another one. Where was it? We saw the other one, which was further up. So it's right on the top there. That's unpopulated, which it is. That is fine. So there's nothing off there. Okay. That all looks good. So, look, if I was a betting man, I would say it's the ribbon. If I was going to go as a bet, if you were ever going to ask me to bet money on something, I would bet the ribbon cable. I just would. I guess what we do now a second is let's just get this pressed back together. Seated, and let's do another test and see what happens. So that's all pressed there and seated. Interestingly, I only need that display on. I don't need the other one. Directly solder the display. Yeah, right. No. On that one. How about no? You crazy Dutch bastard. Have I got the right one out? I'm a bit confused a minute. No, that's right. Sorry, it goes like that, doesn't it? Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting myself confused. you start to get to the stage where you start doubting yourself at some point doing this. I don't think we need the HDMI board. Let's go without the HDMI board. Swap ribbons. You can't. It's not the same. It's they're left and right-handed. So you can't swap the ribbons. I wish it was that simple, but it is not. I wish it was, but it's not. Okay, no, it's not that cable I want. Which one is it? It's that one. Is anyone interested in buying a set of CaddX Goggles X? I can do you a great deal. Okay, let's power them up again. Because at this point, I should be able to get us to the stage of... let's see if we can... It'd be good to have the other display on so I can just tell it is actually working. Let me just pop the other one on over here, out of the way, just so I can actually tell something is happening. Otherwise, because I've got no fans, I've got nothing else. If I don't have a display on over here as well, I'm going to have no chance of knowing anything. So let me just get this one on as well. Here we go. Okay. Okay. There you go. So, how are we looking? Everything is out the way. Nothing is touching. Happy days. Let's go for power on. I can't actually tell if anything's working a minute. Give me a second. I would have thought it would work without the HDMI board attached. So that one's attached, that one's attached. That's the connector for the top. They reverse the pin out for left or right. Yeah, so that's that one, that one, that one. Oh, that connection's not in. Let's do that again. Try that again. I wouldn't have thought we need the HDMI board. Wait a minute, what's going on? What are we missing here? Oh, wait a minute. Right, that's the HDMI. That's that one, that's that one, that's that one. Perhaps it does need the HDMI. Perhaps you have to have it. There's nothing on it. I don't think I've got that one in properly. If I'm a betting man, it'll be that. Where's me tweezers gone? Okay. There. No, that's not straight. That looks a little bit better. Okay. It is possible you need the button board attached. It'd be crazy if it is. It's a basic 3-wire board, but right, okay. Oh, wait a minute. I tell you what, there is quite a lot between these, so let's just make sure that we do have everything. What you don't know is the power paths. This is the problem. Is you don't know where the power is going to and where it is, and so you've sometimes got to just make sure you've got everything connected you can. What we've now got to do is make sure everything is sort of sitting in this weird position that it's not going to short against anything. Okay, I think we're there. Try again. Okay, yeah, they're powering up now. They're powering, but that display is not. That display is dead. You can see the lights on there now. I'm just waiting on the goggles screen. Unless it's a faulty OLED. Possible. Yeah, so that one's on. So we've got analog showing on there. The LVDS chips are in the same relative position, 102. Well, there's only one display driver on these. The only way I could really test this is completely swapping the displays. That's really the only way I could do it. What I can do at the moment is give this a bit of a wobble around and see what's going on. Is there any movement on this? Nope. Nothing. Nothing at all. Let's power him down a minute. So, we are in a position. It's either got to be the display. I mean, the chips next to the L and right ribbon connectors. The chips next to the L and right. It is too much of a risk to randomly try it. It is not worth randomly swapping and burning something out because there's no going back from that. It's just not worth the risk. The only thing I could do is swap the OLED. I'd have to tear the other OLED down and swap the OLED. That's the safest way forward. Yeah, that's really the only way to do it. The question is, do I really want to strip down a second optical module? But when in Rome, it just means the teardown of a second optical module. Yeah, so what you've got on these cables is they're handed differently. So you've got right. So if you look on these cables, one is right, one is left. So VR left. I don't know, you guys might not be able to read that. One is labeled VR left and one is labeled VR right. So, okay. So the next challenge is trying to keep all of that sort of in a place that isn't going to cause any problems is really the goal. So what we do know is we need to release this module off the frame. There we go. Right, let me just slide this lot back a second, guys. Okay. Right, I just want to find something a sec. I'm just going to move this display out the way to the... Okay. So, the process is you undo this, which undoes that nut. Which releases that, which pushes that, which releases that. So that and that. Then the display module removes. Sorry, I'm not talking a minute. I'm actually concentrating. I guess what I might just do is swap over. Try turning it off and turning it back on again. What I might just do now is swap over. Just do a permanent swap over. So, if we lift the heatsink off. Right, so. Are these cups the same? They're not. So, interesting. Let me just look, because I'm not even sure if these are handed. They are. Are they? You just look at this a minute. So it's that way around. Yeah, so they need to be that way around. Okay, so that's the faulty. That's the faulty. That's the good one. Okay? Faulty, good one. So what we're going to do is pop that off there. Will this release off the back? No, that is stuck. I'm not going to pull that anymore. That is very stuck onto the back. So I'm not going to pull that off. How am I going to do this? I'm going to have to pull one off. Okay, it's not super stuck. But it is stuck. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking is hot air next. Oh. So that's the display has come out. I'm not keen on putting hot air on that. At all. There's just adhesive, there is. Okay. There we go. We got him. So that's that one. That one over there. Now at this point, I can cheat. I don't need to peel this one. what I can do is just put that cable onto there. Leave the good ribbon glued, yes. So, pin outs are the same. If you look, they're numbered 22, 40, 40, so that's fine. So we just need to have that one onto there. So, that's that one onto there now. Okay, so then we need to mount this onto this board. So let's very carefully pop that display over there. So we need to mount this onto here. Yeah. Cool, this is awkward. Right, you're gonna get my bald head a minute, guys. Okay. So we're only gonna go for the one display. So let's just double check everything. So in theory, what we've now done, and because I'm doing this on stream, I need to just get my brain in check. We've used the good display from that side onto the existing ribbon cable on this side. So if this doesn't work, this tells us that it's either the ribbon cable or... No, they're not powered on. I'm on a short saver. It's either the ribbon cable or it's the board. It's going to tell us if it's the display is what it's going to tell us, isn't it? So, okay, power up. So there is nothing. Oh, no, yes there is. Sorry, look at that. So that means it must be a faulty OLED. Really? That's the CaddX logo on the display, that is. Give it a second. It'll kick into... They're slow to boot. So give it, there you go, look. Right. So it's not the ribbon cable. So, right there, let's re-separate. The only thing, though, is have I done something by removing that ribbon cable off the display? The question is, was there a fault on the ribbon cable and just bending it might have fixed it? So we need to go back and check. But now I need to figure out which way round it is. Bollocks, I might need to go back and watch that. But I believe it's this way. This is a bit of a ball ache. Bollocks, I just put my finger on the screen. I'm going to have some cleaning up to do. Okay. Should we try again? Nah, I'll figure it out. It'll be fine. The display would have to be clean anyway. Nothing, luck? Don't use ISO on the screen. No, I've got lens fluid. I got camera sensor lens fluid. Okay. try the bad display on the good side. That would mean removing the other cable, and I'm not really keen on that. Do you know the only other thing I want to have a look at? And I want to have a look at this. Do we think they could have got this the wrong way round? They could have put the cable on the wrong way round and the display. Do you think we could have put the display in upside down? Do you think we should try the display the other way around to see if it works? What if they've put the display in the wrong way round? Oh. Nope, yes, nope, yes, nope, 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 nope. Right, let's just look at something. So, I just want to check the pin out. I can check the pin out is correct. So, let me just look at this under the microscope so I can figure out which way around it should be, because that's what we followed. So, pin 2 goes to the inside there. Pin 2 goes to the inside there. So pin 2 it should be that way there. So what it should be is, yeah, it should be that way there. That is correct. Dead? Well, we've tried the ribbon. The ribbon's been checked. The ribbon works with the other OLED. The fact the ribbon works with the other OLED tells us the ribbon's fine. So at this point, it has to be a faulty OLED. It just has to be a faulty OLED. There's nothing else it can be. You know, we'll just swap back to the other one a minute. And then power. And wait, because it took about 10 seconds to kick in. There you go. Wow. We'll pop the OLED out of that side now and have a look at what's going on. Yeah, there's a fingerprint on it. Yes, I know. It'll clean. It's fine. There we go. So, that's a good one. Hit it on the table, someone said. Okay, so let's start having a look at this OLED, shall we? Let's get under the microscope. Okay, shall we have a look at... So, let's first of all have a look at the connector. How is the connector looking? Looking good. That looks okay. Question is, do you think we should reflow it to see? No, can't see. just been sent something. Just doing something. Just ending something. 2 seconds. Right, sorry about that. Okay. I'm not seeing anything. The question now is, do we run an iron? Shall I run an iron down that connector? I got nothing to lose. Okay, the reality is this. At this point, we have nothing to lose. So, I'm going to run an iron down that connector. Yeah, I was dealing with some things I had to deal with on Discord. Sorry about that, but yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is run an iron down it very carefully, because we've got nothing to lose. So this is horrible flux. You won't like this. My iron is turned off. Now it's turned on. Okay, so what we're going to do is very carefully. Ooh, that's got a dirty tip. Let's clean that up. Good. And then just do the other side. There we go. Just in case. You just don't know. You just don't know. Right, let me get the IPA out and clean this connector. Does earwax work? Yeah, it is actual flux, but I use quite a thick, dark flux, not like the Lewis Rossman stuff. I like it thick and dark. Try and keep the IPA away from the display, obviously. We're just doing the connector, that's all. Right, let's just make sure nothing's bridged. It's not quite as clean in here as I would like. Let's just there we go. Cool. Okay. Right. Really, it's really one chance now, isn't it? It will either work or it won't. If it does, great. If it doesn't, we know where we're at and it's a bad display. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. It's not looking good. Nope. So, it's an OLED. Now, I should have sent these goggles back to CaddX. It's the bond on the edge of the OLED. Yeah, that's what I suspect. That's what I suspect. Yeah, I agree. It's the bond. It has to be that bond. It's got to be that bond on the edge of the OLED. There really is nothing more we can do. Yeah. I can withdraw the OLED carefully on the panel. I don't know how easy this is to actually get off. There we go. So that's the OLED there. There you go. So if you want to see how big the OLED is, that is the OLED in the goggles. This week's video is an OLED teardown. Let's get it under the right. It's got to be the bond here, and it's got to be. There's no sign of damage on the cable. look anything bad, but clearly something is off in it. Whether it's a data line, I don't know. Yeah. Really, at this point, there is nothing more. Where are we? At this point on this, there's really nothing more I can do. So it's a bad OLED, which I wouldn't have put money on. I'll be honest, that would have been merely rework the OLED LED to skip the pixels and hardwire. Yeah. Would never have bet on that. I'll be honest. I would not have bet on it being a bad OLED. Now, I'm going to end this one here. I will give you an update on Sunday where we go next. I am going to send CaddX a message and say, hey, can I have an optical module, please? The goggles you sent me were faulty. If you want more information, here is the video. Any thoughts or responses on Rotor Riot? Drew saying no one contacted him for a comment regarding the drone strike stuff. No, I didn't contact him for a comment because there was a piece of paper that said they intended to make drones for striking people. I'm sorry, I'm not sure sort of what fucking comment is needed. So, no. They publicly made a very clear and open statement which said that we're going to be working to do that. I don't know why it needs a comment. Also, I'll add the fact of the comments of everyone in FPV is doing it is bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And, you know, if someone robs your house and then another guy robs your house and he says, I only did it because everyone else is doing it, does that make it right? Everyone is doing it is not an excuse to do something bad. It's really simple. How about do something good? So, but look, that subject's over. Right, guys, I'm going to cut this one short there. I want to thank you for spending time with me. Oh, before I go, there's a couple of super chats. Thank you, Ramon, for the $10. That's incredible. $2. Thank you, Hockey Rounds. And thank you, Mike Chin 517 for the $2 as well. I really appreciate it. But then why aren't we boycotting other bad companies? Before we finish it, why aren't we boycotting other bad companies? Because you can't boycott someone who hasn't admitted to doing something. Right. There are iFlight drones, there are DJI drones, there are all sorts of drones being used in these war zones, but there is zero evidence that they are actively supplying. Fundamentally, there is a massive difference between Toyota making a car and that suddenly being used to blow up a building, or Toyota making a car that has explosives pre-built in for that purpose. And that is the exact difference here. It's really simple. One is being used, one is intentional. They are intentionally making strike-capable drones. That's it. End game. They said it. They put the statement out, so they have to live by what they've said. And saying that everyone else is doing it is bullshit. I don't care about plausible deniability. It doesn't matter. What matters is what they have said. You cannot blame someone for something you have no proof over. There is a fundamental difference between the two. And if people don't get it, that's fine. But there is a fundamental difference. They could have said, we are going to support the FPV community to ensure the longevity of FPV and work as much as we can to prevent the use of drones being used in war zones and support the use of drones being used for good, life-saving, search and rescue, and promote the benefits of drones to the wider world rather than strapping a grenade to the bottom of it. But what they did was took the easy money. Because it's easy to do the bad thing. It's easy. It's easy money. Let's make a drone that can carry stuff because everyone wants one right now. Everyone wants something you can do. All of these places want something that can do bad things. Easy money. Here you go. Here's the dollars. Wing, wing, wing. Cha-ching, cha-ching. The till is ringing. Be sitting there on a beach with his BMW, lapping it up. That's fine. As long as you can sleep at night. And that's all that thing. Because not everything is worth the money. Not everything is worth the money. Here's the truth. I would rather close this channel and end this and you will never hear from me again than support the use of drones in war zones and in war capabilities. We all know it happens. What you don't have to do is promote it. What you don't have to do is be part of the problem. It's that simple. Now, that's a stance, and it's a personal stance I'm happy to take. But at least I know in my head I'm doing the right thing. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just sharing my stance. What I have noticed, and it's not, I've seen there was comments, I think, Drew, yeah, look, I didn't watch the video. I didn't bother. What I did say on my Discord is, let me guess what's said. And I think I pretty much nailed it because I knew that's what they would say. Everyone's doing it. There's something I want to say, but I can't because it could get me into trouble. And have we not learned from World War II that just following orders and just doing it is a bad thing? Just everyone's doing it, following orders. Have we not learned from the past on this stuff? And that's my concern. But hey, easy money. There's no money in FPV. As Orca have said today, right? There's no money in consumer FPV, so what else can we do? Well, we could work harder, and we could make products that people want, and we could build the business, and we could keep doing stuff to grow our product lines and build into being the next DJI. Or we can just shortcut it, make a load of stuff for government and military, and then basically charge them 10 times more for it. Hey, what's going to put money in my pocket by the end of the year? Let's take the quickest option. So, that's the reality. Anyway, that's it from me. Stay safe, look after yourselves. I'll speak to you soon.